legends, welcome back to Chase and Tangles Fishing Adventures. Today we're on the west coast of Tasmania, Granville Harbour. Bloody chilly. Got a few younger crew members on board today, so after a fair trek in the car and a lot of are we there yet, we have finally arrived to the beautiful Granville Harbour. Absolute picturesque place it is. Now after a few hours bounce around the full drive, bit of rough stuff, plenty of black water, black mud and the wicked smell of it, we've finally arrived at the first potential dive spot. First dive spot we jump in, come across these absolute monster blacklip abalone. Probably some of the biggest blacklip abalone you will come across in Tassie. So quickly pop a couple of those off, enough for a feed, nothing too overboard, and get back to the original plan and try and chase some crayfish, or the mighty southern rock lobster. Now I've added a couple of lovely blacklip abalone to the bag. What an absolute start. First crayfish I've come across here. Just the sheer excitement of not seeing a cray for a while. I think just got the better of me. Obviously couldn't help myself here and missed it well and truly. But that does happen, so time to keep pushing on and find one and see how I go round two, hopefully make an improvement. Round two. Here we go. Hopefully I've made a slight improvement on the first one because that was a terrible effort. Gone in for the grab, hopefully nail this one and put the first cray in the bag, and voila. I have nailed one here. Not a monster by any means, but well and truly legal, so what a start. Let's get it. As the day pushed on, a lot more looking, not large numbers of crayfish. Just the odd one here and there, a lot of smaller ones, but we've come across one here, a bit of an upgrade from the last one. So fingers crossed I can absolutely nail this one and make a slight improvement on my first effort and put a second one in the bag. Well, that's the plan anyway, but unsuccessful. Terrible grab, missed it through and through, but after looking at the video, I'm pretty sure it's a female anyway. So obviously the season is closed for females, so I'm kind of glad that I did miss that one, and we'll say it's a female anyway. Found a bit of a hunting hole here, absolutely loaded with antennas and red feelers, literally going berserko, but not monsters, literally little rats. I suppose almost like oversized yabbies, so we'll just, leave them in peace. They're no real use to us, there's no point, damaging them and breaking them for no real reason. Just have a bit of a squiz and move on and try and find something, a bit of an upgrade, but things are not looking very promising at this stage. Come across this big old starfish here. Looks like something's had a crack at him and cut one leg off him with the looks of it. Not sure if that's sort of the invasive one or a native one, but feel free to drop a comment below if you do know, because I'd be interested to find out. They're not really that common around the islands from what I've seen so far. Located another one here, not a monster. Fingers crossed I can make an improvement on my previous grabbing ability because the effort was dismal and I've nailed it. But as you can see, a female, so clearly visible. Let that one go, push on, hopefully come across a male. I've seen one here. An absolute beauty by anyone's books. So I've got the absolute disco happening on the dive torch, so we'll try and tame that one off a bit and get in a position and see if we can nail this one, or if I'll keep the reputation that I'm holding of missing them through and through. And I've gone in for the grab, bam, it is on. He's fair locked in up the back of that cave. After a bit of a bust up with him, finally managed to lure him out. He's going absolutely haywire, as you can see, so trying to hang on to him and hopefully get him in the bag, but he's going berserko, as they generally do. Got the claws fair lifting me at the same time, but finally got a good grab on the back of him. Smooth as from here, just put him in that bag and push on. Hopefully there's a couple other bigger boys floating around in this spot. come across this crayfish shell here. Not sure if it's one that's been shedded or something's made a meal of him the previous night or the previous day, either or. This little rocket ship shooting through there, always wicked to see them little ones. They definitely move some ground very quickly. This is looking a bit more promising. A decent sized bull locked under this ledge here. Hopefully I've got a bit more confidence and can put this one in the bag. Well, that's the plan anyway. He is tucked in there. Obviously you see me, gone in for the grab and nailed it. The confidence is lifting. I've made a slight improvement on my previous efforts. Things that are looking up here.
Got heaps females with him. He did. Right.
As the sun started to set, it was time to wrap up day one on the west coast. Epic. Push back to camp, bit of that smelly black water, set up the swags in the dark, light the fire, a good feed, a few good yarns. The kids are all cooked, so I think everyone called it a night about 7:30. So what an absolute epic first day.
Alright legends, welcome to day 2 on the west coast, Granville Harbour. Absolute beautiful morning, bloody cold. We've got dive gear on. Let's jump in there and see if we can round up a few big bulls today.
Once the dive gear on, the motivation to actually get in the water wasn't quite as high, but get the job done, get in there, get amongst it. Let's get this day on. In high spirits, we've come across our first set of red feelers. Let's go. Day 2. Come across this one here, went in for the grab, fair locked in the back of this, I suppose, little cave system here. But I did manage to get him out. Not a monster. The crayfish definitely weren't of huge size. So I pulled him out. He's well and truly legal. So we've added him to the bag for the collection and keep pushing on. No abalone knife, bare-handed, blacklip, abalone, add him to the bag, let's get it. A bit of jumping spot to spot in the morning, pretty quiet in a lot of spots, not a lot happening. Absolute shitloads of current here, as you can see, it was fair pumping. Surging like anything, not ideal to dive in, but they're the cards that you dealt on the west coast. Come across another one here. Lure that one out, but it is a female in full berry, so leave her alone, push on, come across another one here, and voila, we've got a male this time. This is what we're looking for. After a bit of a tussle with him, did manage to pry him out of there, but they do get fairly locked up into these tight caves. They can take a bit of getting out. Just take your time with them, and you will get them out without damaging them at the same time. Not too sure if you can tell how much the current and surge is absolutely pumping in this spot. Definitely hard conditions to work in, hard to dive in. Definitely something you need to be cautious of if you are down there. But we keep moving on. It's not my first time in the water. Another small cray under this ledge here. Sand going everywhere. It was a female, so released her back onto that ledge. Move on time. Wasn't quite as smooth sailing getting out of there. It was getting in there. Bogged more time than 50 metres than we had the whole trip, but that is what happens. Bottomless black mud and very soft sand. So after plenty of time banging around the full drive, we've come to another spot here. Jumping in for a free dive. Big sort of gutter system running through the rocks. Quite deep. A lot of current, a lot of surge. So I had to be pretty cautious here. I've jumped in, gone for a dive down. Can see a beautiful cray tucked up there, which my arms are about probably 2 metres too short for, so not a chance of getting that one. Kept looking around, come across one here, bam, nailed it. Race back up to the top, sort of get in a decent spot ready for the surge, and it's a bloody female, but we did let her go. So keep pushing on, see what else is floating around here. conditions were getting probably less and less favourable as the day went on. This spot's going to be the last hoorah for the day with the way it was looking. Fairly sheltered, probably not the best spot that you could go to, sort of all weather accessible. But jumped in there, got amongst it. Wasn't a lot happening till towards the entrance of this, I suppose, rock pool or whatever you want to call it. But it was getting pretty horrendous in this spot. So made the decision that no cray is worth, pushing the limits. So as you can see, plenty under that ledge there. Not monsters, but decent crays. I did call it quits in this spot because it was getting quite hairy. So sometimes you got to make that call and move on. It's hard to sort of tell how wide it was, but I was getting fairly pummeled in there. Pushed back into this rock pool, or whatever you want to call it, sheltered rock system. Heaps and heaps of small crays. These here are not even legal size. They're like oversized yabbies or, I suppose quarter-grown crayfish. But awesome to see. Super sheltered in there. Just little feelers everywhere. I suppose part of the ecosystem, the breeding cycle or something like that for them. Maybe they shelter in there. Beautiful place to cruise around in. Enjoy the scenery. But this was time to wrap it up. So this rounds off another mission, an absolute epic trip. Big thanks to the crew that come along. Will definitely be in the memory bank for a long time. Thank you everyone for watching. If you did like this video, hit that subscribe button and we'll see you soon with some more.